Hey guys, my name is Keston Glasgow, and I'm a real estate investor who eventually made my way to being a high-performance personal development coach. So I'm making this video for anyone who has lost faith in love or life or just feels like they just want to quit right now. This video is for you. So for you to fully understand, let me tell you about my previous marriage. So I met my ex-wife in college, and I remember going to stalk her on AIM. You know, back in the day, there's these AOL instant messaging chats, and when I messaged her and she responded, we went on dates and stuff like that. And so after that, we were dating for a few months before me trying to get a job, and I couldn't get a job because I was an immigrant. And I remember being super upset that night and telling her and literally crying. And she was like, if you're that passionate about working, why don't we just go get married so that you would be able to work and pursue the things that you want to pursue? And because I really liked her and I really wanted to get ahead in not being an immigrant anymore, we got married. And so we got married, and that's kind of how it started. I mean, when I got married the first time, because I knew I got married for a purpose, and that purpose was for me to be able to work. Did we have fun together? Absolutely. But it was time to go to work. So, you know, as soon as I got married, I made sure like I filed for my papers and all that type of stuff. And that's what it really was. I got married at the courthouse. We didn't have a big wedding until I started working. And this was like a year after. My mindset going into the marriage of it being more work-related than love-related definitely impacted the marriage, because when the challenges started to come, I decided to choose my desire for work and accomplishment, getting the American dream, because that day when I got home and I told her, like, before getting married, that I couldn't work anymore because I didn't have my papers, I committed to myself that the day I got my Social Security papers, that I was never gonna be lazy one day on this earth again, ever again. And so that commitment to myself and not the commitment to the marriage kind of superseded the marriage, actually, because when there came a point in time that she really needed me, I was still on my American dream stuff that made me keep pushing and totally forgot about her and her emotions, which then led to us ultimately at the end getting a divorce. Going through a divorce, I've heard one of my past mentors say that going through a divorce is like a death that repeats itself. And the reason why is because you gotta mourn the loss of this person just like a death, but they're still alive, right? And so you continuously see this person over and over, but you still mourn the loss of that relationship. And for me, it was absolute rock bottom. There's nothing that I've been through that has been as rock bottom as my divorce. I remember I ended up I went to Dallas. I've never been to Texas, knew no one over there. But I just went to Dallas with a book, and I read this book called Be Happy for No Reason. And that book helped me so much because it helped me to not put my happiness in other people. And this was the start of my journey of being my own happiness and having the happiness come from the inside. And so this is what the divorce really is, what started my personal development journey 13 years ago. My steps to improving myself was to continue to, well, I read that book, and I read that book over and over because I wanted to be able to really dig inside to be happy for no reason, just like the book. And that's when I started working on having like hobbies and different things, that having my happiness not be in another person per se, but generating happiness from within and doing things that makes me happy. Because I think most people put their happiness in their kids, in their husbands, their wives. And even if your situation wasn't like mine, but this is why even in like empty nester syndrome, when your happiness leaves the home, then you become, then you're like, well, now what do I do with myself? And this lesson taught me how to start being happy from within and doing things that made me happy. So it made me work on my like hobbies and meditation time and just that internal happiness. The moment of self-reflection, and I had to be careful because my parents are still together to this day. Right? And they're like married for the last 40 something years. And I wanted to have a marriage like my parents. And so divorce wasn't something that I've seen in my family. I kind of was the first person in my family to actually get a divorce. And so when I reflected on what I wanted for myself, I had to be careful that I didn't sabotage myself or think like I'm stupid or something was wrong with me or anything like that, because the reflection of who I wanted to be, I wasn't able to upkeep. And so that made me kind of really forgive myself for the things that I didn't know, the skills that I didn't have. And what was interesting in that reflection is that I tried to make myself happy so much on my own that I created an icebox for myself. Where in other relationships past that, I went from one extreme to the other, where it was like, in this whole me loving myself kind of thing, it then turned into me being super cold to other people. And so in my other relationships and dating, I was, while loving, it was loving from a distance. And I call that phase of my life my icebox phase, where I didn't let people in. I didn't let them in much at all because I wasn't willing to be hurt again. Being resilient means that you get up and you try again. And so most people, when they go through divorce or have a bad marriage, they just stop dating. They're like, all men are bad, or all women are bad, or they're this or that. And so the resilience it taught me was to try again and not put the hurts or the traumas on the other person. So you keep trying and you keep trying, just like going after a goal or something like that, just makes you, it's like, yeah, keep going. So it definitely taught me a major lesson in being resilient. Like, this was the thing that helped me to embrace hardship, going through this divorce, because it being the lowest that I've ever been. Now that I go into any situation, I'm like, well, it's not gonna be as hard as that, so I could do it, And so I kind of walk into any situation looking like, man, if I could have gone through losing my family and not being away from my son and all that type of stuff, I could totally go through this. And that's kind of how I look through even to entrepreneurship or absolutely anything. I'm like, I went through that, I could do this. I use this pain that I went through to grow. And I think that's the main thing in using your pain and turning it into purpose, right? When you go through something like this, looking for the opportunity as to how to grow, I think is the greatest gift that anyone could have. And this was one of those moments that really taught me to turn your pain to purpose, because and look at this pain as a gift, because that pain has now made me absolutely a different person, and it has created who I am today, which is an amazing, loving, caring husband, baby girl. If anyone is going through a divorce or feel like you probably feel like there's nothing more in life and this is absolutely it, or even like you probably don't feel like it's worth living right now, I understand. And what I could say is to totally embrace what you're going through. I know it hurts. I know that the emotions that you have right now is to give up. But if you stick through it and you hold on long enough, I could guarantee you that there is sun at the end of this tunnel. And you being able to come out on the other side of this, to be able to impact and help someone else, sort of like this video may be helping you. If you could think about the millions of people that you could impact simply by your story and you coming out on the other side as the prize, I think that that alone is worth it, because you are worth it. And I can't wait to even hear about your story. So if this video has given you any hope or inspiration at all, let me know if this has impacted you at all. I'd love to know. I'd love to be there, even if you're going through something right now. And so you could do it. I know you can. So if you found any value in this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. I want to know if this type of content is making a difference in your world, because I only want to make videos that create a difference in your life.